My parents gave my brother Daniel my late father's house, but they didn't know Dad had left one final document that could take the house back. I found out on a Tuesday morning when Mom called me. Daniel is getting the house. I went silent. What house? Dad's house. The house he promised you? Mom sighed. Things changed. Daniel needs it more than you do. I didn't argue. Dad had spent 30 years building that house. Before he died, he told me something I'll never forget. Whatever happens, don't let Daniel sell it. I thought he was worried about my brother's money problems. I didn't realize he had already planned for this. 2 weeks after the funeral, Mom called again. Daniel has been helping me with everything. Bills, repairs, paperwork. He's going to take over the house. I asked her one question. Did Dad leave a will? She said yes. Daniel has it. That answer bothered me. Dad had always kept important documents in a small safe at home. I went to the house that weekend. Daniel was already there. He blocked the hallway. You don't need to look through Dad's things. I'm not looking for anything. I'm looking for the will. Daniel smiled. Mom already handled that. I looked at him. Why are you so nervous? His smile disappeared. 3 days later, I received an email from a lawyer Dad had used for years. The subject line said, "Important estate document." I opened it. The lawyer asked me to come in immediately. When I arrived, he put a sealed envelope on the desk. Your father left instructions that this was only to be opened if someone attempted to transfer the house. I stared at him. Someone is trying to transfer it? He nodded. Daniel had already started the process. The lawyer opened the envelope. Inside was a copy of Dad's will, a property agreement, and one handwritten letter. Dad had placed one condition on the house. It could not be sold or transferred to anyone who had outstanding gambling debts, unpaid loans, or a history of financial fraud. Daniel had all three. I couldn't believe it. Then the lawyer showed me another document. Dad had placed the original deed and a second letter in a safe deposit box. The letter said, if Daniel ever pressures his mother into giving him this house, stop the transfer immediately. I felt my stomach drop. Dad knew. He had known exactly what Daniel would do. The next morning, Daniel called me. We're selling the house. I didn't answer. He called again. I know you're upset, but this is happening. $600,000 is a lot of money. That's when I understood. He wasn't taking the house to live there. He wanted to sell it. I called Dad's lawyer. He told me the transfer could be stopped because the required conditions had never been met. That afternoon, Daniel brought Mom to the lawyer's office. He thought the paperwork was finished. It wasn't. The lawyer placed Dad's letter on the table. Daniel read it. His face changed. Mom looked at him. What does this mean? Daniel said nothing. The lawyer continued. Your husband specifically instructed us to prevent this property from being transferred under these circumstances. Mom started crying. You knew Dad didn't want this. I looked at Daniel. He finally admitted it. Dad had warned him years ago that the house would never be his if he kept gambling. Daniel had hidden his debts from Mom. He thought after Dad died, nobody would check. But Dad had checked. Every account, every loan, every document. Mom turned toward me. Why didn't you tell me? I looked at her. Because you never asked me. She lowered her head. The sale was canceled. The house stayed in Dad's estate until everything could be settled properly. Daniel lost the deal, and for the first time, had to face the consequences of his own choices. A week later, Mom gave me Dad's old watch. I don't know why he wanted you to have this, she said. I opened the back. There was a tiny piece of paper inside. 3 words were written in Dad's handwriting. Protect your mother. I couldn't speak. Dad hadn't written that letter because he hated Daniel. He wrote it because he knew Daniel would eventually choose money over family. I looked at Mom and finally understood something. Dad hadn't just left us a house. He had left us a warning, and this time, I wasn't going to ignore it.